Hi everyone. Today we are going to do our next time worksheet. We have page 43 and 44 in your packet. We're going to do time to the nearest quarter hour or the nearest 15 minutes and time lapse. So we're going to practice both. Remember, there are some great video lessons on YouTube that will review how to tell time in more detail. I don't want to take up this whole lesson doing that, so we'll practice as we go. Let's find our worksheet. You should have gotten a copy of this in your packet. We'll do a couple of these together, and then I'll have you do the rest on your own. Like always, we're going to start out by putting our name on the page at the top here. Then we'll read the directions. The directions say to read the question, find the answer, and place the time on the clock. So here's the question. We'll read that. We'll use this clock to find the answer. These are our three options. And then we'll write the time on the digital clock over here. Okay, let's do number one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. This afternoon, a school had a graduation ceremony online. What time did the graduation ceremony start? Remember, our hours are the numbers that we see on the clock. In our minutes, we skip count by 5. On the 12, we start 12. Up here, we start with 0, and we go 5, 10, 15. So 15. We're doing the nearest quarter hour, so the 3 is 15 minutes. And we talk about quarters because we can divide our clock into 4. Whoop. Oh, I'm such a good drawer. But our quarters look kind of like that. So the quarter hour is 15 minutes. 15 plus 15 is 30, which is half an hour. Plus 15 is 45. Plus 15 is 60 minutes. I'm going to get rid of my drawing, my fancy drawing here. And we'll get back to actually looking at the time. So let's look for our hour first. What hand do we look at for the hour hand? That's right, the short hand. And the short hand is pointing to 4. Then we're going to look at our minute hand, and we'll count 5, 10, 15. So the graduation ceremony started at 4:15.
4:15.
And would it be 4:15 a.m. or 4:15 p.m.? That's right, 4:15 a.m., we'd probably still be asleep. It's 4:15 p.m., so we're going to put that on our clock over here. 4:15, because we're doing to the nearest quarter hour. So our options are always going to be 15, 30, or 45 while we're doing these. All right, question 2. This afternoon, my friend listened to a podcast. What time did my friend listen to the podcast? First, we're going to look for the hour hand, which is the short hand. Good job. And it's between 1 and 2, so we're going to count our minutes to figure out where we're at. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So it's not quite 2 o'clock because it's between the 1 and the 2. It is 1:45. So our hour is 1 and our minutes are 45.
1:45.
1:45. Let's put that on our clock. And we'll do one more together. And then we'll look at the elapsed time page. That gets a little bit trickier. All right, last one that we're going to do together. And the other 2 I'd like you to do on your own. Alrighty. This evening, an author recorded a speech for a podcast. What time did the author start recording the speech? First, we'll look at our hours. And it looks like that shorthand is pointing at that's right, the 8. So our hour is 8. Now we need to look for minutes. And for minutes, we look at the long hand. I'm going to have you practice counting here. to see how many minutes we have. What did you get? Let's try it. So we know we're at 8, and then we'll go 5, 10, 15, 8:15. What's another way you can say 8:15?
8:15.
Quarter after 8. So we'll put 8:15 on our clock over here. Well, we'll see what happens. 8, 15. Now, is it AM or PM? Let's go back and look at our question for a clue. This evening. Is evening AM or PM? That's right, it's PM. 8:15 PM. Oh, it's almost bedtime for me. All right, I'd like you to try the other two on your own and see how you do. Now we're gonna skip over to practice counting elapsed time, or how much time has passed. Okay, here's our time lapse worksheet. You should have gotten this one too. This gets a little bit trickier. We're gonna have to do some math and some counting for this. We'll start out like we always do by putting our name on the top. Then we'll read the directions. Read the question. Here's the question. Find the answer. We're gonna use the clock, and then here's our options. And then place the time on the clock. We'll put our time on our digital clock over here. Let's do a couple of these together, and then I'll let you try the rest on your own. All right, the first one says, this afternoon, I listened to a podcast. I started listening at 1 o'clock and listened for 1 hour. What time did I stop listening to the podcast? If we started at 1 o'clock and we listened for 1 hour, we're going to look at our clock and we're just going to go 1 hour ahead of 1 o'clock. So there's 1, and we're going to move up 1 hour. There we go, 2 o'clock. We finished listening to the podcast at 2 o'clock. And because it's afternoon, we know that is PM. Anytime afternoon is PM. 2 o'clock PM. Great work. All right, let's try another one. This afternoon, my brother joined a video call with his friends. So there's our keyword there, afternoon. The video call started at 4 and lasted 1 hour and 30 minutes, or an hour and a half. What time did the video call end? If we started at 4, that shorthand would point at the 4 and the longhand would point at the 12. We know it lasted at 1 hour and 30 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and skip to the 5. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that's 1 hour. And now we need to add 30 minutes, which is half an hour. So our hours are 5. And how do we add 30 minutes? Let's skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There we go. 5:30, and it's afternoon, so we're going to say PM. 5:30 PM. PM. All right, great work, everyone. I'm going to have you try the next 3 on your own. I will see you at 1:30 PM on Tuesdays and Thursdays for our Zoom. Our Zoom sessions they start at 1:30 and we finish at 2. How long do our Zoom lessons last? I'm going to ask you next time we Zoom and see if you can tell me. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.